BOP, the BLERD official podcast. We are here and we are so excited that you have joined us today. Man, it's been a minute, but we are happy to be back with you. Hilton George, how are you, Mr. BLERD Khan himself?
Oh, man, I can't complain. I'll tell you what, the weather is breaking and it's like getting into the 70s and 80s and sunny. So my mood is better. And, we're getting into the spring. Spring is sprung.
Right. Spring is definitely sprung. I've been taking allergy medicine like every day. And it's one of those things where it's awful. But you know what? We are here. It's exciting. Christi Renee, how are you? Has spring sprung in New Hampshire? That is the question.
Surprisingly, yes. Spring has sprung. It was like 70 degrees today. It's beautiful outside. Yeah, I'm trying to get my, summer color going. So it's nice. It's quiet. So I'm good. I missed y'all.
Hey.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. I am so glad we are together. It's been a minute. But we got so many good things. Like I'm telling you, like I was sitting here y'all know I was racking my brain last night and I kept going, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And I couldn't think of nothing. And then as you know, the BLERD gods have shined their light on us. And we have been able to get something really cool this morning. A new trailer dropped for Marvels. And I know Christi probably has not seen it. I don't know if Hilton's seen it, but we're going to watch it right now because I got chills. Like y'all know David Fielding. He's my friend. He's my nerd friend. And he literally texted me at like 7 this morning, was like, oh my gosh, did you see the trailer? And I was like, yes. So I'm happy to watch it again with you guys. And I need y'all's reaction. All right, and here we go. Good.
Captain Rambo?
What the hell are you doing?
Entering the jump point perimeter. I'm gonna get you some readings, Fury. Hello?
Monica.
Hello?
Captain Rambo?
She's so cute.
Where's Captain Rambo?
My girl.
What the?
Don't you tell me to smile. You stick around and make it what you want.
Hi.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
Okay, so our powers are entangled. I can manipulate light energy. And I can totally show you. I'm not again. Hi.
Where's our daughter?
Wherever you were.
Oh.
We're a team.
No, we're not a team.
We're not a team.
Hold on. Yeah!
That was a bomb. I love it.
That was so great. It was so great.
I didn't know they were this far along with it.
I didn't either. Like, when were they shooting this? I feel like they probably shot Miss Marvel and went right into this, and we just didn't even know. Because, I mean, this is like November. Like, I'm like, hold up. That movie had to take at least a year to shoot. So I think like they had to have just gone right into it. And we get our girl back. Kamala Khan is back. And I just love everything about this teenage character.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She is a star. And I think she's going to steal the series just like she did in her own. She's so entertaining to watch. She's just you just love her. And so that's going to be like a huge carry on. I'm just interested to see how it's going to fit with the other series like Secret Invasion and the movies coming out this summer. Like, okay, what what is it going to be? Like, how's it going to fit into Guardians? And, how's it all going to tie together? Because we're still, on the cusp. We're just starting phase 5.
We're just like, they barely scratched the surface. I mean, and like Monica Rambeau, that was one of my favorite characters. Even like that was the one like young character I like. But then when we got her in WandaVision, it's just like we knew something more was coming with her, and it's just I'm excited. I'm really excited to see where these three women are going to go. And I'm so proud of Marvel because they've really been embracing women, and women characters. And Brie Larson was like, me, I'm not the biggest Brie Larson fan, but she was so likable in this, like, you can tell they're going to loosen her up, or at least her character up. And I think that's what her characters always needed. Like, it just needed, just her reacting to them, I think is going to be hilarious. But Chris, what did you think when you saw, Brie?
Of course I love her. And I do, my argument is always going to be, I loved her firm, crass tone in the beginning, because she also said, look, I'm everywhere. So y'all need to chill out, because I'm busy. I can't be just here. When they kind of checked her in, which film was it? Endgame, I guess.
Endgame,
Infinity War.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
And I thought, okay, that kind of explains her character. Like, she's all over the multiverses.
Yes.
Now, I also love how it reminded me of Riri Williams when Shuri and Okoye show up, and they always think these kids, they think they're being recruited to be an Avenger. And I love that. So that's a good, I think that's a great theme to keep going. Just like Peter Parker had those same moments.
Yes.
So I love that, because that's true kids. Hell,
true. I forgot about Peter Parker doing the same thing. Absolutely.
And look, I'm a teenager too, because if somebody show up, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I don't even need no bags. Let's go. Just take me right now.
Beam me up.
Yes.
Take me on this adventure.
Yeah.
Yes.
This looks so good. It looks so, I can't wait. Like, November can't get here quick enough. I love having this, anticipation. We get to, so much good stuff coming.
Yeah. And you know what? It's April. So, I mean, for them to be teasing something in April, it really means they believe in it. Because usually they wouldn't have rolled this out until June, July. Right. And then, like, so for me, that is a good sign for this movie, that they are already like, let's tease this baby. Let's get this thing going, because we are, we're excited. So we want y'all to be excited.
Right.
Well, it's not just that. They did a big clearing of the board. You had the chairman of Disney got turned out, and he's gone. They got rid of one of the managing directors over Marvel is gone. And that work environment that was overworking the special effects teams and the CGI development and all of that sort of stuff was just apparently a toxic environment. So now they've moved and shifted a lot of the properties that were going to be coming out this summer. Like Ironheart was supposed to be coming out this summer, and it's not. They've moved it, I think, to 2024. So the next thing on the agenda, they can focus all of their energy and all their resources on a smaller number of projects. Yeah. So that might account for how fast they've gotten at least this trailer out, and how fast they're anticipating being able to get these episodes and shot and done. And based on what we saw, the CGI and the special effects, look like they're going to be all on point. So this could be a hearkening of a new day over at Marvel.
For sure. You're right about that. There have been like some major corporate changes, and so that shifted everything, and everybody was screaming and upset and mad that that happened. But I think at the end of the day, like, anytime anything gets pushed, it usually is for a good reason, and it usually ends up being bigger and better, and just they always take their time, and they seem to really, they really care about these characters. They don't rush anything, not even for us. And they know that we're gonna eat it all up, so they don't do that. Nia DaCosta is the director, who's also a woman. She's heading up this whole film, which I'm super excited to see what she does and how it all works out. One thing I thought was, have you guys heard this? I heard that Marvel is actually putting together the pieces to do their own like Comic-Con. So like, you know how they have like Star Wars
I'm already
Celebration.
there. Where's my
I
ticket?
know. I'm like,
Where's
take my money.
I'm gonna mail them my credit card, and you just send
Take
back to
my
me the
mo-
money you think
all
I
you
need.
gotta-
I don't even
That's
want to see the
it.
receipt.
That's it. Just tell me where to be, where to go, when the tickets go on sale. Like, I mean, literally. And I think it's the smartest thing because like Star Wars has done this for years. They do the Star Wars Celebration, which we'll talk about in a minute because that just happened. And they always are able to plug their own stuff. And if you think about it, on San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel obviously gets the big day. They get Saturday and they get to announce all their stuff.
Yeah.
But they're still like having to work with all the studios. Like all the studios are there announcing their stuff. So they only get like, you know, they probably get their allotted amount of time for the year. And they're like, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this. But if they had a whole Comic-Con, they would be able to show all the trailers.
If they can have an amusement park.
Oh,
They can have they got a whole amusement park over in Anaheim.
Yes.
So like there's no reason in the world that they can't do a con.
It would
And
be
to your
so
point,
smart.
It not only smart, but it would be economically smart. It would pay for itself in a lot of ways. They have access to all the reason because I mean, if they did something because Disney has done it with D23,
Yes.
you know, and then you've got CW and HBO. DC does theirs. It's virtual, and so San Diego Comic-Con is no longer the monolith and the one opportunity to get everything out. So I think you're going to see maybe a little bit more of that hope. And I'm wondering, like, you know, will Star Wars make this an annual convention? It's already moving around every 2 years, and I think the next one will be in Japan. And I'm like, okay, now I got to go to Japan.
I know, it's like, you know, it's I love that it's that. I love that Star Wars Celebration is that, but it's like not everybody can go to Japan. Like, you know, it's like, I mean. That might be like 2 years. We might be able to try to figure that one out. Like that would be kind of cool though, guys. Like for us to go to Japan, we go to Star Wars Celebration, we kind of do our thing. But still, it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, if Marvel does this, and like you said, even if it was every 2 years, it would pay for itself. They would be smart to do it annually because they got enough product, they got enough stars. And like you said, if they had it at Anaheim or at Disney, like they could have a convention space right there. You could go to the theme parks. It is just the whole thing. I would literally spend all my money and like move to Anaheim for like a whole week.
We just need to get an RV.
I need to like,
right.
My mom has an RV. I'll be like, Mom, bring the RV.
The BOP.
We grill out front. We'll just
the BOP bus.
The BOP bus, and we just need to like have a good bathroom. That's the only thing. I'm kind of like I like to do that kind of stuff, but I'm bougie. I need a real bathroom and a real shower.
What we do is we park it out in front of a high-end gym or spa.
Like, yeah.
So we use that for all of our personal needs.
Yes.
And
we'll park it outside of what's that restaurant we always go to, Christy? We always go every city we go to. We go to Ruth's Chris. We'll park it outside of Ruth's Chris. We like y'all know we gonna eat here every night.
Right.
So go and let us use your facilities so that we
saving
can
money on hotels so we can eat filet mignon every day.
Yes.
Trade off.
We get bougie when we're on the road. We like a good meal. I mean, people don't know when you're at Comic-Con, like you're literally there. We were talking about this. Me and Hilton were talking about this right before we got on. You were at the con from like 10 or even sometimes 9 because you got to set up and make sure everything's good until like it closes or maybe an hour before it closes. Sometimes we leave early. You're there the whole day. And you're trapped because these convention centers don't have, you know, restaurants around them. It's kind of like convention centers just take up the whole space. So you're trapped and you're at their whim as to what you're going to eat. So that is why I've always appreciated your con, Hilton, for having food truck. Like he has a whole food truck alley, or what do you call it? Like
food truck rally. There you go.
Yes, it's like so it's like what kind of fried chicken you want, or what kind of barbecue. You know what I'm saying? But when you're at the con, you know you're like literally like stuck on the chicken fingers. You got the like overpriced pizza that's awful. Like, I mean, it's just all bad food, and you're stuck and you're trapped. Like Christy knows, she's had to go run and try to find me food and find us something to eat so we don't die because we've been there 8 hours.
We don't want crap either, and sometimes we'll do our best to snack.
Even the salads are awful. Like they'll
except
have
for
some
the one.
horrible.
Except for the one. Now we do have that one salad we love.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it was, and that's only in that one city. That's it. That's in Seattle at Emerald City.
So one salad in one convention center in one city.
It's like baby mixed greens with candied walnuts and fruit and like some goat cheese or something. Vinaigrette, like goat feta or goat cheese. Like it's so good. But that's not no other con has that salad. No. Like none. No other
sounds like a salad at a con. Like,
yeah,
I know, right?
I've even seen that. Like, right?
Right. Boy, we got it. And like, Walter was with us, and we were like, Walter, you want a salad? And he was like, yeah, sure, because he's like a healthy guy. And then the next day he was like, I don't want that salad, y'all. That wasn't enough. Like he was still hungry. He didn't say it was bad. He liked the salad, but he was like, it just wasn't enough food.
I do think that the major studios that have fandoms attached to them are going to start doing their own internal promotion. I don't think they're going to leave San Diego or New York Comic Con.
No,
but I think they've got so much properties to get out. They've got so many panels they want to do. They have so many aspects of their production and their theme that they want to put out that, even if you had an entire day of Hall H on Saturday, it's not going to be enough for what they want to do. And I mean, we're talking about this as if, Ranger Stop is not right here. Like you literally have a theme-based convention around fandom from stem to stern. And that is the I think the model going forward. And I think the great thing is that they've got such a diversity of content and properties and shows and movies that it would just overlap with so many fandoms, from the video games to the series to, you're obviously going to have cosplay and, the vendors. It's all going to be there.
It's so expansive that they literally could just, like you said, they've got everything. They've got it all. Like they don't just do movies. They don't just do TV shows. They've got all this merch. They've got all these things. And it could literally be so amazing. But no, that from what I understand, it's happening. There is going to be a Marvel con. I don't know where, but the buzz is that is happening. That is a real thing that is going to come to life one of these years. And it's soon. I hear that it's soon. So I was like,
they should call us, experienced con runners to come and consult.
I think I could
help put some of this together.
I could put their floor plan together. You know me and the floor plan.
Floor plan, promo. We could do it. Like we could do all the little features, the special events.
Man,
look, if you have Marvel at your disposal,
yes,
that's it.
Come on,
come on.
You hear that, Marvel? Make it easy on yourself. Call the people who know.
Call us.
Let us help you. Help us help you. Help you.
We're here. We're here for you. Okay, so I had something else for you guys to watch because that wasn't the only thing. Now, like I said, Star Wars Celebration was just the other day, and they announced so many things, but one of the projects that I am so excited about.
Say it.
I'm just gonna play it. Instead of saying it, I'm just gonna play it. Okay, guys.
I'm just gonna let it talk for itself.
Exactly, because it is that great. Okay, guys.
Something's coming.
Yeah.
Something dark.
That's our girl.
That's our friend, girl. That's our friend.
I sense it.
This is a new beginning. For some, war. For others, power.
It's been a while.
Things have changed. I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return.
What's that?
as heir to the Empire. We have to prepare for the worst. The Jedi fell a long time ago. There aren't many left.
Perhaps it is time to begin again.
See,
look here now. Look here now.
Come on.
You done messed up, A.A. Ron. You go tell Principal O'Shaq Hennessy what you did.
Oh,
crazy.
Oh,
This is
my
gonna be crazy.
So,
Yo.
for Hilton, okay, so first of all, let me just let y'all in on the inside joke between me and Christy. Me and Christy met Rosario Dawson for like 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes of our life.
We had lunch
10
together.
minutes.
Stop.
10 minutes.
Stop. It was
Well, we
25.
were all in the green room together, and we were sitting at a table, and she just came and sat at our table. But her friends were there. We had no idea her friends were there, so she came, sat at our table, and she was the nicest person. She was talking to everybody at the table, not just her friend. Like, she was just the nicest person.
Beautiful.
And now we think we're all we think we're her best friend.
Besties.
Like,
That's
we see her, and we just go, "Ah, that's our girl." We so it's just a whole nother level of
Ain't nobody
insanity.
call me, ain't nobody text me, ain't nobody FaceTime me, nothing.
I don't even like. I think we would have just started FaceTiming out of nowhere, Chris.
Out of sight, out of mind.
We'd have been like, "Yeah, Hilton, blah blah blah." Oh, and Ro. So it's our friend Hilton.
I'd have been, look, Southwest would have got a call. I'd have been like, I'll be there in an hour, Rosie. I'll be back. I'll be there in an hour.
That night he would have been in the green room. We'd have been like, Hilton, where'd you come from?
I'd have been all out of breath, had my bags. Yeah.
Yes.
Just pulled in.
She's a beautiful soul.
Such a beautiful soul. So for this to be happening for her, it's amazing. So Ahsoka, that's how you say it, right? Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about, like, I'm not a huge Star Wars person. So I only know, like, on the surface. I've seen her character pop up in Clone Wars, and I've seen her character pop up in Obi-Wan, which I was, like, so excited to see her in this character. So Hilton, I know you know more than we know. Give our audience, for those who aren't huge fans like us, like, tell us a little bit more about her and kind of how it all has kind of come into play.
Okay, so the abridged version is this. I'll start by saying what I hope they do with this series, and what I think they will do, is that they will make this digestible for people who have not watched Star Wars Rebels, have not watched the Clone Wars, maybe you haven't watched The Mandalorian or seen any of, like, her major appearances, in any of the other movies or properties, so that you can go in and kind of have a Harry Potter movie experience where, like, oh, okay, I'm getting what I need. But if I know extra, I get extra, and you can move forward. That being said, Ahsoka is like this, like a constant thread in all the Star Wars lore and stories and movies since, the original trilogy. And, her arc has been, she's gotten disillusioned with the Jedi Order. She had been betrayed. She came up right before, Order 66, where all the Jedi, were killed and the Empire took over, and all that stuff that you saw in the movies. And so she's had this life outside of Star Wars main line that no one really got to see unless you watch these shows. I would say, if you do have Disney Plus, you can watch Clone Wars, you can watch Star Wars Rebels, and she's got entire story arcs within those that you can look at. There's probably a lot of review videos that you could watch to catch up on YouTube. But she's an amazing character because she's not a Jedi, she's not a Sith, she is a Force-using, independent character. A lot of that is defined by the color of the sabers. And we're trying to figure out, watching this trailer here, like, what is the mission? Like, what is the story that has not been told that we are now going to learn? We know that they teed it up, when she was in the Mandalorian, and she was looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, who we don't know who's been cast in this character, but this is a character that is as impactful as Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker or Obi-Wan in Star Wars lore.
Right.
So really excited about this. But she played it so well. And, you know, she just embodied the character. All the Star Wars fans just get teary-eyed, you know, when they saw her in the makeup and the costume. She's learning the fight choreography. So I know this show is going to be amazing. We're going to get some great performances. You saw in the trailer, you know, you got some really great actors, you know, that have played in, Thor. You've seen some actors here who have played, your girl Ramona from Scott Pilgrim is playing a character here in full makeup. So there's going to be some familiar faces who are proven quantities on the big and small screen. And the fact that it's coming out this summer means that you know, we're going to see this before we get to Labor Day. So I'm excited.
I know. Like Disney Plus, if you aren't subscribed, I don't know what your problem
your
is.
life.
Yeah. Because it's so much good
life.
entertainment, and it's not like someone was like, I don't want Disney, like I don't want to watch some kid shows, and I'm like, no, these are like full on series. Like,
it's so
listen,
much more.
y'all don't know this one right here. We were just in the chat. She's like, I'm on the Mandalorian. Lord, let me say. Did you binge like all of season 1? Because you were like rifling through that when we were talking to you.
I'm doing it. I'm still trying to keep up in the current season, but again, I'm learning. You know, I'm still be looking for Billy D anytime I think of Star Wars.
Oh God!
You get Carl Weathers.
I know. I get Apollo Creed in there.
Apollo Creed in there.
Yes.
But of course, you know, my biggest argument about the whole thing was, why I can't see Pedro? Pedro, where your face at? Is Pedro gonna take that dang helmet off? I mean, Pedro.
Well, you gotta watch. You gotta watch because
you get about
does it come off?
3 minutes. You get about 3 minutes of Pedro.
Okay.
In between season 1 and season 3.
Yeah, that's why in the current season he's like the beginning of the current season he's trying to right his wrong for taking that helmet off.
Oh my Lord, take the helmet off.
Because Mandalorians aren't supposed to ever take their helmet off.
He needs to not be a Mandalorian. Man. We just need to. He needs to quit. He needed a new job.
Okay, first of all, how many people have been on Star Wars, but they were the voice? Like these characters are like computer generated, like Lupita Nyong'o. Like I mean, these people they went and did their stuff in like a green screen, or they did, you know. But it's like they weren't, you know, like something else was there.
Like my friend, the little bubble dots in the green.
Yeah,
suit,
he was BB-8, and he's like dressed in green, and he's pushing BB-8. Every time you saw BB-8 roll, he's the guy who actually was doing the robotics of the BB-8.
I just figured something out. Like Pedro Pascal to the fan base represented by Christi, and I think even Karan Ashley here. Is to them what Rosario Dawson is to us in Ahsoka.
Yeah, but y'all get to see her face. We always reveal.
Listen, I gotta tell you, I'm a super fan. You know, I was born and bred into the Star Wars era. And, you know, I just love what they're doing with the world building. You know, it takes a lot of skill to tie all this together. You know, you think Marvel stuff,
really does.
You know, Star Wars has got like non-canon books,
the 70s.
comics, you know, the movies, you know, the TV shows, Christmas specials from the 70s. They got to tie all of this in and make sense of it.
It's years upon years.
Filoni and Favreau, you know, the guys who are mainly known for what they're doing currently on The Mandalorian, across the board, because Filoni did Rebels and Clone and everything. He's encyclopedic. And it's like, you know, the fact that you know all of these little disparate things are going on in the Star Wars universe, but then they're able to kind of tie it together in a way that you didn't see, gives these series and gives these properties something to do and a story to tell. And they're not having to pull it out of their butt. You know, they really are able to tell these really compelling stories. And they've got some amazing special effects, some amazing practical effects. So, I mean, listen, you are going to see a lot of Star Wars cosplay, fashion.
Oh,
You're going to see people talking about it on your timeline. It's going to be everywhere this summer. So between this, they got a new series coming out called The Acolyte that's going to have Amanda Stenberg. You may remember her as Rue from the Hunger Games.
yes, I love
She's playing the
her.
title character in that, and they're building out a whole new lore that has never been told.
Wow.
And you know what else is really exciting that we've said, but we haven't really said, is that these are women, but they're also women of color who are centered in these stories. You know, Black women, Afro-Latina women, you know, these are this Afrofuturism push that we compliment and praise Disney so much for, and all of the stuff that they do is evident even in their sci-fi properties. So, you know, we get so caught up in the space stuff and this, you know, the space wizards and all this stuff. We're like, yeah, but there's a woman of color on the screen. Like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, and like I know, like at one point there was like I keep saying Obi-Wan, and I forgot she wasn't in Obi-Wan. She was in the Mandalorian. I'm just getting them all mixed up. But like with Obi-Wan, there was so much pushback and so much because you know they had a Black lead villain-ish, and so it's like I love that this whole new generation of Star Wars is like, we are not going to be swayed by this layer of hate, this one little layer of chatter of hate, because these women are so talented and so amazing. And like, we're just getting, like you said, this, I mean, it's so important for us as a people, as a generation, as all of that, to be able to see ourselves in sci-fi and see ourselves in the future, even if it's the pretend future. Like the reality is that that's what was groundbreaking about Star Trek, and that we had, you know, Lieutenant Uhura. Come on, that was not even worn on purpose. Christy bought me this shirt, by the way. We had Lieutenant Uhura in the future, and that is why when she decided she wanted to quit and she wanted to go and be on Broadway, Martin Luther King picked up the phone and was like, "Hey, girl, I need you to not do that."
Martin Luther the King.
Martin Luther the King, right? And you got to think about this, guys. Like, we have all these crazy, like, I mean, you guys have seen lately on the news, like what's going on in Nashville and what is going on in Tennessee. I shouldn't even say Nashville, just Tennessee. It's like, I read a meme the other day and they said, as much as all these hate, you know, hating politicians and these hate mongers and these racist, like this racist undertone. Well, it's not even an undertone. This racist,
they're very bold.
This racist overtone in our country and in our government. You know, it's like you didn't want kids to like have any kind of critical race theory. They're literally witnessing critical race theory. They're living it with their own eyes, and it's such an inspiration for me to see, like the kids coming out of school, sitting out, like just protesting, laying down on that floor in the hall, and just seeing all of these people go, this is so racist and so wrong that we're just not going to stand for it. And seeing two brothers who are just, I am so proud of these brothers.
Justin Pierce and Justin Jones are
just in time.
Just in time.
That's right.
They are so phenomenal. And when I tell you,
it's hard to stand up. It's when you do it, you gotta get praise for it.
They are, I can't celebrate that whole situation enough. Like, I'm so grateful.
Well, you know, and this is the thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll say just one more thing and I'll let you jump in.
Oh, go ahead.
All I was going to finish with was that usually it's the arts. It's usually music. It's usually the arts that open our minds to what, like that. They used music and they used the arts during the civil rights movement. Yes. And that was for a reason. It was to appeal to the people's hearts, because it's like, you don't think it's happening, or you ignore that it's happening, or you're just like, oh, I don't care that it's happening. And then all of a sudden, when you just see it, they've always used the arts, and they've always used, and so that's why I'm so proud of Star Wars for doing what they're doing, because it needs to happen. I'm proud of like Black Panther, because you know, just that futuristic, seeing Shuri being so advanced in you know, technology. But please jump in, Hilton, because I know you are right there with me.
it was right along the lines of what you were saying, you know, that we have to create no safe space for discrimination and marginalization not in fantasy, not in comic books, not in video games. This refuge, as you can see, the backlash comes from these silent, dark spaces that people would never stand out front and look someone in the eye and say the stuff that they say.
Totally.
And you see people from the top, at Disney, at Marvel, who are a part of these fantasy properties and generating these stories, saying directly what we ain't gonna do today. And coming from, some of the actors and the directors, the producers, the executives, and sticking to their guns, where in so many other facets of American society, you see corporations pulling back, politicians pulling back whenever someone starts to gin up some trouble on Twitter. They have stuck to their guns and say, no, we're not going to do, a pullback of our characters. We're telling the story we want to tell. We are including everyone in this world that we're building, and the reflection of the people who have been marginalized in the past. That is a correction that we are taking with both hands. Absolutely. And if you don't like it, then that's $8.77 a month that we just not going to get from one more person, and we'll deal with that.
Yep.
And that's where the praise comes in, not just by doing it because it makes money, and it does, and they are doing it because it makes money, and I'm glad for that.
We make
but the
the
fact
money
that they're sticking to it. And they have made it a business plan, and it's not just in the storytelling, it's in the casting. You see it in the directors, the writers, it's the behind the scenes, it's all there. And I think it's going to be a net positive. And that's where brand loyalty comes from. This next generation looks different than the fan base from the 70s when all of this was born. And they're recognizing that, and I hope that they continue to do so. And that's why y'all going to get our money when we come to Japan.
Yeah. Right? That's how we gonna go to Japan. We're gonna go to
and this is why we're going to
Star Wars Celebration. That is why I booked my ticket.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, you see how I brought that around?
I love it. Bring it home. Bring it home. Come finish it off.
Yeah.
Listen, everything you both are saying, like that is, I mean, my fist is always in the air. So I totally agree. And again, we've talked about this, this time last year, we were talking about this and just the hateful things that people do. And in this space, I'll say it again and again and again, because it's a never ending conversation. Clearly, is that, we belong everywhere because we've been everywhere. We are everywhere since the beginning of time. And
Absolutely.
Like it or not, you can either love it or kick rocks. There's a choice. I just listen, we can't keep fighting the fight, enough. And for this world, this fantastical world of inclusion and representation and appreciation. I mean, again, we just said, we were talking about these are women. Marvel is leading with women. This whole Star Wars, the next series, it's not just the women, it's the culture. You got culture coming through. Y'all know how much I love this Marvel. And everything they've done, thus far. So it's just so rich, and it's so exciting, but it's also, it's exhilarating. And I just sometimes get so overwhelmed. It's almost too much emotion to really handle. Just to see it all really unfold. And there's so much coming. It's so much coming. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm still crying at Wakanda Forever. So y'all know, it's just so much. And I just applaud and support and rally around and behind all of the efforts made in this creative space. Because you're right, Karen. Listen, and especially in soul music, that was the way the Harry Belafontes and Nina Simone's, these people literally gave their livelihood toward the movements, for change, to facilitate change. And it's just important that we all, again, Sankofa, go back and fetch it and remember those people who came before us and why we need to keep pressing on. And I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. And we're going to go to Japan.
I think it also hits us so, we're so emotional about it, is that they're not just, like you said, they're not just putting actors, they're not just creating characters. it's really like Marvel has made it a cultural lesson.
Yeah, it's
Like
it's
we've
a
got
commentary.
cultural lessons. You know, we had it with, we had it obviously with Wakanda Forever. We had it with Miss Marvel. We've had it with the Five Rings. Like we're getting cultural lessons for all of these heroes and their cultures, that it's almost kind of great, because like I know how we've always kind of feel like, oh, they culture, they're culture appropriating, they take our culture, and they that is absolutely true.
It's
That happens.
a fact.
But
Mhm.
I love the fact that they are, they're teaching teenagers who would probably take our culture, like how they say you want our rhythm, but you
Don't
don't
want our
want our
blues.
blues. You don't want our blues. But they have literally put in these stories lessons about our rhythm and our blues,
Mhm.
so that people, this next generation, can really benefit from what it is to be from Africa, what it is to be, Pakistan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a much deeper
Yeah.
conversation. And it almost is like it's a silent conversation. But it's so needed. It's so needed. And I think that's why it hits us emotionally. Like I know that's why it hits me emotionally. When I saw
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever, and it had, the Mayan culture, the Mexican Mayan culture, and it also had the Black culture, like I was like, and it just hit me different. And I didn't even anticipate that. Like I'm just not really even that kind of an emotional person. I always call my cold and vicious heart, but it made my cold and vicious heart feel something. It made it, I make fun of that cold and vicious heart, but every now and then it feels something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just love the lesson, because it's like you see in government and you see in certain states where they are like, I always say, why don't they want you to learn that? Why are they pushing all this money and all this effort so you stay dumb? Like you have to think about that. And obviously what's happened in Tennessee has been heartbreaking, but it's also been so inspirational, because those kids and those young adults, they were not going to be swayed, and it was a rally cry. And when you saw the protesters, it was a multicultural amount of people protesting. That's why it's like gotten the national news, and that's why we've got, like you said, the two Justins who are just in time. They're like the darlings of, like, the one thing they
really
didn't want them
are.
to get. They are like loved by so many people.
It's like we gotta get these brothers off the board. We
You-
like
you-
get them out the
you-
cloud. We got it. Like, nope, this already CNN done got it. It's already been beamed out. And and the funny thing is that if they had just, and this is just because racism and racists are so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like if they had expelled the white woman too, it wouldn't have gotten as much press, and it wouldn't have had as much traction in the mainstream media.
Right.
And it wouldn't have been as blatant.
Right.
But because even in their hatred,
Dumbness.
they couldn't even take in their own interest for whatever mission they were trying to accomplish. They couldn't separate the racism even from that. They had to put that in. And that is where it's like come on, like really, like you already expelling them for something stupid. You're targeting them and targeting them because they're Black, and then you're gonna emphasize that by taking the woman who is standing in solidarity with them in every shot, in every part of the protest, and they're gonna like, well, we're gonna get rid of y'all
in the middle
because y'all were rowdy.
God love her.
You guys were loud. They were getting a little ruckus. They were doing all this other stuff, and the white woman standing there like, hey, where's my, hey, what about,
right?
And in America,
Now
like,
she knew.
oh, now I see.
Knew.
Now it's like,
and I'm glad
if it
she
had been all
said it.
three, there would have been like half the country would have been like, well, it's not racist because they had a white woman there. But the fact that they couldn't even separate from their own hate enough to even work for their own interests tells me that this is a doomed movement. And all we have to do is just continue to fight, continue to stand up, and have more trust. I get more trust in this next generation because I know in a place like Tennessee, everyone thinks, oh, it's this, super white state and blah, 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 blah. But we know gerrymandering is what really, really misrepresents the power at the elected level versus the grassroots. We know what the people of Nashville want in majority versus what they are getting at their state level. And until we attack that, until we get some better representative government, we're going to have these fights between the people that are being represented and the people who are in these state houses doing stupid stuff. But it's really nice to see that we're able to get behind and rally behind these brothers and make some change.
And I don't want the crux of their fight to go unnoticed. It is for gun reform.
It's not even a racial issue.
They
the
made
babies
it,
that were lost, that were slaughtered.
Exactly.
It's about guns and death.
Here's the thing. It continues to happen. There's only been 102 days or whatever it is, 104 days in the year. And we've already had over 160 mass shootings in the United States of America. Just 2 days ago, a bank, was shot up in Kentucky, and 6 people are dead. Like
1 minute. 1 minute.
1 minute.
He shot for 1 minute.
It's just a nightmare. So
the destruction.
They try to. This is almost part of the plan. They derail us from what the real issue was, and racism is just so easy because it's so commonplace.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's a good distraction.
It's a really good distraction, but I always want to make it a point that even when all of that has been going on in Tennessee and in our federal system, our governmental, systems, that, okay, remember, y'all, we are fighting to get rid of these weapons of mass destruction is really what they are, that we're harboring. And I didn't make the gun. My folks that look like me ain't made the gun. And now you've got this, again, this very colorful presence of folks saying enough is enough, and we're going to fight, and we'll be. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but if y'all didn't see Justin Jones be sworn back in, yes. Oh, I'm mixing them up.
I saw it.
Pearson's with the glasses and the fro, right?
Pearson
okay.
It's hard. Yeah.
Jones has Brother Jones. He's got, oh my God, I love them both. But watching him walk back into that room, first of all, on the steps, be celebrated like that, and watch. Unbelievable.
They don't even know what they got started. Like the one thing I will compliment these brothers on, they have not lost track of what they were fighting for. Like they bring it up every single time. Like we are fighting for gun, just smart gun laws, and we are fighting for the kids that were just murdered in our state. Like that is why we were outraged, and we have the right to protest. Yeah,
and we have the battle. But I have to say this because our typical battle is we not only take on the fight for all, but we still also fighting to just be Black. Can we decriminalize being Black while we also keep guns from killing everybody, no matter what they look like? So we've got this double battle. So when his speech coming back in to the House, and when he was in the well and was able to say, I'm reinstated, and we not only did you try to do this, but we're getting back to the main point, but we'll fight for both of those. We're gonna fight everything you throw at us. I mean, it's just incredible.
Every time they speak, my heart explodes. Like these brothers are like they really tried them for like some fools, and they're like, no, we're well educated, we know exactly what we're fighting for, we know exactly the point we're trying to make. And the Justin Pearson, the one with the afro, when he did the whole well speech, like that speech about when the guy tried to embarrass him, and he was like, and I was like, if you haven't seen that speech
like this, I was like, oh my God.
It was beautiful. It's very frustrating, but you know what? It has, like I said, it's been so inspirational. Like through the frustration, it has been the inspiration. Like they've literally set these two brothers on fire. Like I don't know these, like whatever they had planned for their agendas, whatever they had planned for their year, their life, their mission. Everybody has something that the reason that they're in politics or the reason they're doing whatever they're doing. I think their lives have been changed, and their
trajectory definitely.
Their trajectory is like they are on a whole nother path that I think
recalibrated.
5 or 10 years, these same politicians are going to be like, why did we start this fight with them?
This is how it always happens.
Yeah.
You got to think. Martin Luther King was tapped. He was called. You know,
Yeah,
they were
he
like,
was.
we need somebody to speak, and we hear that you are good at conveying the message. There are other people in the fight, and there's other people who are leaders in their area and have been fighting the good fight, but we need you to get out into the forefront. And,
Yeah.
you know, Martin Luther King didn't think he was going to be taken on a lifetime mission by giving that speech and by stepping
Right.
into that role, because there was nobody who had done that at that time.
Yeah.
But that's where, you know, lightning strikes. And, you know, these politicians, these guys, when we start talking about, well, who's the next generation of politicians, you know, this is them, you know, and they're tapped by the moment,
It
they're tapped
is.
by fate, they're tapped by the issues. And a lot of times it's not somebody that's been groomed since they were 16 to come into these spaces. There's a lot of politicians that have been, you know, model UN since they were 15 years old, and they get up there and they don't make a whole lot of consequence, but just somebody who comes in at the right place at the right time and decides to stand up ends up being some of the people that come into these spaces, you know, to lead and become leaders going forward. And I hope they accept the mantle. There's no guarantee that life will make this work for them, but I hope that it does. I hope they go, you know, as far as they can at the state level. I hope they end up on national politics, bringing these issues forward, because there has to be a wave. You know, I mean, I don't mean no harm against Joe Biden, but he's not going to be here forever.
No.
And you know, and we don't have a bench.
Nope.
We don't have a bench. There's
We
nobody
don't.
on the bench.
Like, like, why haven't we planned for the future? Like, why is it
the freezer empty? Where the fish and the steak?
Yeah.
Nothing for the winter. And you know, so
I don't know.
God forbid something happens to him, but we need to have a bench and people who are willing to step into these national political roles, regardless of how fraught it is and regardless of how negative it is, and all the things that stand in the way of good people being in representative government, especially on the national level. Yeah. So I hope these brothers persevere and
we
end
got
up
to
on
do
a
our
ballot
part
that I can cast.
Yeah, we do.
We got to do our part.
We got to do our part. Yeah, first thing we got to do, and if if you're a praying person, we need to pray the protection of these brothers, pray all over them and anyone like them and the people that are helping them. But we also have to do our part. We have to vote. We have to get out there and canvas. We got to, like, whatever it is you want. It's almost one of those situations where this generation really has to be heard. The only way that it's ever going to change is that we got to get new people in those seats that are making those decisions and passing those laws. I mean, if we just keep this old, like, I mean, look at all these guys and all these, they're like the oldest of old people. And why are they making the decision for our future? And they've literally spent their whole life in politics. They're just, you can smell the money, you can smell the cowardness that the NRA has thrown over them and just like threatened them and said, if you don't do what we say, we're going to end your careers. And so they're holding on by a thread because of the check that they just cashed. It's like, guys, the only way things change is if we change it, but it's not easy. Like, it takes work. And like you said, I was so inspired to see two young guys who are definitely going to be the future of something great, because I just don't see them going away, because they are
we need them.
They're mad. And I like people who are mad, and I like people who are like ready.
That's what Brother Nancy said. Pissed off, get stuff done.
Yeah, I always go, right? I always am like, you know how like when you like people go into like a baseball game or they go and I'm like, look me in the eye, let me see where you, like my friend, she was going into like an interview for a job and I was like, look at me, let me see. She's like, what? And I go, I gotta see the fire in your eye. You gotta go in there and kill it. Like, look at me. That's how I am when I go in an audition. I'm like, where's the fire? And I like punch the wall. I'm like, and then I walk in, I'm like, hi guys. But it's like that fire has to walk in that room and you have to just it's energy,
show me your war face.
Exactly.
Let me see your war face.
I know.
I don't believe you.
And I know our BOP watchers are like, how do we go from Marvel to Star Wars to politics? But it all kind of intertwines. Like, think about every time we've gotten a major character, when they turned Captain America black, the outrage, you know what I'm saying? It only comes up because of the ignorance. So if you think that this entertainment stuff isn't, affecting the storyline of our lives or just your view on what who can be what and who can do what. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like if you that it's always entertainment that has always helped, spread the message. So it's like, yeah, this is what it is.
Yeah, this is what it is.
This is what it is. Okay, so any final thoughts? Like, I already know I'm saving up now for Marvel Con.
Whenever or wherever it is.
Guys.
Japan.
Yeah, well, that's
doing
Star
that for
Wars
Star Wars.
celebration.
Star Wars.
I mean, whatever.
Celebration.
Yeah,
I'm adding that to the list. Right.
Yeah,
I'm adding that to the list. That's what we.
But
we
let me find out where and when it is. The flight and the hotel is gonna get purchased first. Like, and then the ticket, wherever, however the tickets work, we'll figure that out later. You tell me it's gonna be in San Francisco on this weekend. Boom. Me and Delta Airlines is gonna be like this. Like,
well, think about it. Think about how like they had on Miss Marvel, where she was at Marvel Con. Like, that is really gonna happen. Like, that was just a glimpse of like, oh, maybe we can do this. And I mean, you gotta think about it. They know that Comic-Cons are a huge monetary situation. I mean, there's a reason that they announce everything at San Diego and at New York. They know there's 100,000 plus people showing up. They're not crazy. So now it's like, why don't we have skin in the game? Why aren't we doing this ourselves? We could have all 3 days to announce our TV shows. Why are we just waiting for the one hall 8, like one room, 1 5-hour span? Like, why are we doing that? We could have it all.
And everybody will come. It will
be there.
Yes. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
In the streets, looking crazy. Looking crazy.
I didn't even tell you guys. I recently was in Orlando, right? And I was at my friend Mikey. You guys know Mikey. He co-owns Ranger Stop and Pop with me, along with Nakia Baris. But I was at Mikey's house, and this is how you got to treat a guest. I go to his house and I go into my room because he's got me, like, I got a room and I got my space in his house, everything. And he had some slides, Waffle House slides. Yes, I showed these Waffle House slides. Hold on, please hold, because I got them right here.
Please
hold on. Please hold. Talk amongst yourself. Waffle House slides.
Wow.
Everybody and their mama was like,
wow.
Where do I find those? And I said, see, when you got a friend in me. He knows me so
Waffle
well
House slides.
that he bought me the Waffle House slides. Guys, first of all, the slides are comfy. Second of all, I felt seen for the first time in my life. I felt seen. This is the most seen gift I think I've ever got. Outside of this shirt that Christi bought me, I was seen. She knows I love Lieutenant.
They go together. They go together.
We did not, as a people, did not establish Waffle House. We don't own Waffle House.
We do now.
For some reason, Waffle House is the black restaurant, like Sprite is the black drink. It just happened. We associate it so much with blackness for no reason.
That's ginger ale.
Look, y'all remember that meme that came out where they were talking about that new Waffle House where all the white people were working and everybody's like, I don't trust it.
We ain't going.
I don't trust that.
Those floors don't look slippery. There's not enough.
That grill don't look day old. That grease don't look day old. Like, I need a waffle iron that has had 80,000 waffle remnants.
I need some mendacity in my staff. I need them to be indignant. Like, I want to feel like I'm on your last nerve when I walk in the door. It gets into the grits. You can feel it. This is what that last nerve tastes like. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want the deputy in the restaurant who is there to protect the attendees, the restaurateurs from the staff. He's not there. Everybody's on work release. Everybody's on work release. He is there to make sure don't nobody run. Everybody's ankle monitors stay attached.
That work release waffle and cheese eggs is the best cheese eggs and waffle
you got all
have
your
in
teeth.
your whole
I need
life.
you to step away from the grill.
Hilton, get off my phone.
You have got all your teeth. You need to no. I'm sorry. I don't want no. Get
phone, Hilton.
I need a missing tooth.
She
a
calling
dead tooth.
HR on you, Hilton. That's her. She reporting you to HR.
I'm just letting you know. If the silverware is clean, I don't want it.
I can't.
I need boiled water.
Waffle House slides.
We're not talking. No
Yeah,
more.
exactly. Like this is the thing. Like you guys know, the grimiest Waffle Houses are the best. Like
Oh, in
you
the
know,
morning.
there might be somebody. There might be a commercial in 10 years. It's like if you ate at a Waffle House from 1992 to 2022, then you need to call us because you could get a piece of the settlement.
I'm
But
sorry,
that's
y'all.
okay.
You
This
might
is
be
what
entitled
happens
to
when Dana's not here. This is what happens. We just go off the
Call the-
rails completely.
Call the
You
law
knew
firm
when the
of
Waffle
Dewey,
House
Peter, and
slide
Dow.
came out, it was gonna be the show had run
I
amok.
need them. I gotta have them. I'm
gonna find you some because I was like,
we gotta have
people
them.
literally were like, "Where did you get those?" And I was
I
like,
will
"You
wear
need
them
to,
to church. I
you
need them.
know, I'm gonna wear them
And
to
dare
Comic
somebody to
Con.
say something. Just dare somebody to say something. Like what?
I'm be like the chancla. What you say? What you say?
I'll get them and then I will wear them into IHOP and wait and hope somebody says something.
Yes.
I'll wear it into IHOP.
Say something. Say something. Say something with your dried up pancake.
This is exactly what it looks like.
Security.
With your omelet and hardly
And
no
look,
meat.
if I
Say
want to
something.
test the criminal justice system,
Wow.
I'll wear them to Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
I might not make it out the lobby. They might not let me.
We are experiencing technical difficulties right now. Y'all,
Get off
That'd
my
be a national
phone.
news item.
I'm out. I'm done.
They done
I'm
got
done.
Anderson
Cracker
Cooper
Barrel.
that came out of the studio to come
I'm
see.
done with
Christy,
y'all.
stop acting brand new. Stop acting brand new, Christy.
I'm done
You
with
are
y'all.
right here on the
I'm
Waffle House slide parade, and we gonna have the Waffle House slide. You gonna be sitting in the convertible car
Listen.
at the Waffle House.
Do not
parade.
act like
Stop acting
black
brand new.
people do not
Listen.
go to Cracker Barrel because we
Yeah.
might not
Wait,
have been at the
remember-
Capitol on January 6th, but we want to taste what it tasted like. So when I bite into that biscuit, I'd be
I'm
like,
done.
taste
We
the
were stuck though.
insurrection.
We
It's
were
like
stuck one
insurrection.
night. Where were we, Christy?
I
Was
had
it
the
North
insurrection
Carolina, South
platter.
Carolina?
It was one of
We
the
were stuck.
Carolinas.
One of the Carolinas. We got in so late.
Ooh.
Like literally, it was
But
like
it
Cracker
wasn't even
Barrel.
that late. It was the towns were just shut.
The town was just shut down. Like we
At-
went to
at
Waffle House
9:30.
and they were like, "We closed,"
At
and we like,
9:30.
"Okay." We like,
At
yeah,
9:30.
yeah.
Closed Waffle
And
House?
Yeah, it was closed, and they were like mean about it. So we were like, "Okay, it's cool."
You know they
So
got
we
a
had
knife- they got
like
a knife
Jack
on
in the
them, so don't
Box
push it.
and like Cracker Barrel, and so we actually went to Cracker Barrel, and it was some good pancakes. Though I ain't gonna lie,
Oh no,
Yeah, it was
that
good
pancake
pancake.
was hitting.
I'm
And I had a
telling you.
drink too. It was good. I had a cocktail.
Yeah,
But,
you get cocktails at Cracker Barrel
at
now.
that Cracker Barrel,
Like-
you can get show enough like liquor.
Yeah, it was like I don't know if it was Jack Daniels, something like one of them wine coolers.
They had a
It
whole
was like-
Jack Daniels menu. It was
So I can't be that mad at Cracker Barrel. I mean,
No.
they are due for a name change. If Ain't Your Mama changed their name, you
Listen.
need to change your name, Cracker Barrel. Like that's all I have to say.
It's the
It's
closest
time
thing.
to remarket, rebrand.
They
or-
should call it white soul food because that's
I'm
what
done.
Cracker Barrel
Get
is.
off my phone.
It is like, it's like they really tried it. Like this,
Right.
It's like I feel like y'all really,
Yeah. It is. It is
It's
what
like
it is.
Blue Eyed
It is.
Soul. It's like listening to Hall and Oates. Like
He
it's
said Blue
white,
Eyed Soul.
but,
I can't.
but you can feel the attempt. You feel
This is a whole.
it's a whole other show.
It's a whole other
Okay. I don't know if I want to keep the train like just crashing, or if I'm like maybe we should call it. Maybe it's time to call. Yeah, is it time to call it?
I was trying to call it.
Christy has reported me and Hilton to HR, but that's okay
StreamYard is
because
texting all of us.
this is it's
We will
okay
not
because
use our
I just blocked HR. Block them, Hilton. It's okay.
I'm
It's
telling
okay.
Dana.
She acting brand new.
I'm
So
getting in the
she-
chat right now, Dana.
She acting brand new, but it's okay. But guys, thank you for watching the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. One day we will be BOP Plus, and it will come with a Waffle House slide, the subscription.
Have to
And-
have the Waffle House.
am working
side.
on that. It is so amazing, so comfy. Anyways, guys, we love you. We mean it. We veered to the dark place, but that's where you like us. So join
Came
us
out the
next
box
week.
breezy. I
I
love it.
just
Join
told
us
it. I'm
next
feeling
week.
it. I'm feeling
Join us next week for some crazy, crazy stuff. I'm sure it's going to be even crazier than it is this week. We love you. We mean it. Bye. Bye.